Hi, this is Dan Jones. We're here at Light Reading's 5G network and transport event, and I'm here with LaChance, CEO of ZenFi, and we're overlooking Times Square, which is part of where you have a good chunk of your business.
That's right. Great, thanks, Dan, and appreciate being here.
Cool. Now, we've been listening to you through the day. You're kind of built the company on mobile densification, so you're basically building out kind of cable to all kinds of poles all over Manhattan and the boroughs.
Sure.
How much at the moment does 5G impact your business, and how much will it?
Well, sure. You know, we started the company back in 2014 to focus on mobile densification. We started looking at a different architecture, an architecture that's focused on antennas literally everywhere, every intersection in Manhattan, every intersection in the boroughs, every floor of every office building. There's a different type of fiber optic network that had to be built. So we've built a pervasive citywide network. Well, we're probably around 1.5 million to 2 million feet of network just in the 5 boroughs that we've built so far. That so 5G is just an iteration of densification. We started out with the CRAN model, a wireless site, front haul fiber, a co-location, and a backhaul. And that's the infrastructure we built. It can be used for a lot of applications. We started now looking at opportunities to take this massive fiber footprint and put it to work for other applications like carrier connectivity to buildings and enterprise connectivity. But our real focus is making 5G happen.
Right. Now, you're working with all the mobile carriers pretty much, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Now, with 5G and densification, does that have an impact on your kind of deployments and things like that? Because obviously what we've been hearing is like people need to have like 5G cells pretty much like every block.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, Manhattan's got 3,300 intersections. Yeah. Every one will have at least 1 or 2 antenna locations at it. And every one of those locations requires fiber optic connectivity. Right. So if you imagine running a cable up Fifth Avenue, for instance, when those cables were built by the other carriers to support other problems, legacy problems, they didn't worry about breaking into that cable every block. When we architected our network, it was built for a high accessibility and high fiber counts. So when I go up Fifth Avenue, you can access our fiber optic cable and make connections every single block, literally every manhole we traverse. It's a very unique configuration. So we thought about that before we started building, and our architecture is really unique. I think, across the entire world. I mean, this is a very dense environment. Very high capacity environment, and needed a new kind of network. And I think other cities that are similar but smaller than New York or similar and bigger internationally will need this type of network.
And obviously with the 5G, the way that networks get developed is kind of going up vertically, particularly in a city like New York. You mentioned like visual pollution earlier on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you think that's going to affect the way that these networks are deployed? That consideration?
Well, it's an important consideration. The city of New York has really made it an issue. Other municipalities, we're working in New Jersey also, they've made this an issue. So one of the things it's doing is driving us to use smaller components, like the shrouds are smaller, the antennas are smaller, and that affects the technology, right? It can't work as well because I can't put all the bands or multiple carriers on the same box because I don't have enough space because it's got to be for aesthetics. Now, this is counterintuitive when one message they deliver is we want broadband, pervasive broadband connectivity across the entire city. We want it everywhere. But you have to do it within these constraints, and it makes it hard. So now we'll put an antenna on 2 light poles in the same intersection rather than 1. Right. So which causes more visual pollution? So these are the dilemmas that we're dealing with.
For sure. And when you're looking at network deployments and that lot, how much are the kind of costs fluctuating in terms of deploying cable and stuff like that for these kind of applications now?
So we've seen a steady increase in costs to deploy fiber optic network in the city of New York, and it's mostly driven by congestion. there's just a lot of cables occupying the duct system, and it's a limited resource, and the duct system's getting used up. So the ducts that we're using now are at the bottom of manholes, which means more work to get down to the bottom and get the cables through. Then we have to, when we go to light poles, we're the first cable going to a light pole. There was never a fiber optic cable run there before.
Power and
So now we're trenching and building, and then we have to bring our own power to the pole. And those are all new builds. They're all greenfield builds. So the first time, we're the first ones through on a lot of these connections. So the costs are pretty significant for the first build.
I guess that gives you first mover advantage with things like 5G though.
That's right. I mean, I think we're well positioned to continue picking up business throughout the city. We're building in parts of the boroughs now that haven't been built by other operators. So
like Staten Island?
Yeah, we have today contracted 300 nodes on Staten Island, and that's a new build. And the Crown is down there, but nobody else.
Right.
So
wow.
yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much for your time then.
Great. Thanks, Nick.